Take it off. Fuck your hoe.
Pocket rocket and a brand new Goya wallet. Pull up on your scene, I'm not hiding. I'm so fresh, I don't need no stylist. Counting all this money so damn long on my fingers, I'm getting callous. I been getting brain from my side chick. She so smart cause she is in college.
Number 9 swag, yeah, swag. Number 9 bag, yeah, Japanese tags, yeah. I got swag, yeah. Jump in the Jag, psych. Jump in the Lambo with the tags, yeah. I got the bag.
2016 is one of the greatest years when it comes to hip-hop because it changed the demographic forever. This year, we received some great albums from the biggest at the time and great albums from newer artists. Kodak Black had released Lil Big Pac, Kanye dropped The Life of Pablo, Chance dropped Coloring Book, and Young Thug dropped Jeffrey and Slime Season 3. These albums have stood the test of time and continue to get great replay value. Some more albums I have yet to bring up are Views, For Your Eyes Only, Blank Face LP, Isla, 3-6 Lack, Fly God, Still Brazy, Evol, Untitled Unmastered, and The Random Life 2. There were so many great albums that came out that it is impossible to even talk about all of them. While these albums did outstanding numbers, the music from the trio stopped the world. Bugzey dropping Lil Uzi Vert vs. The World and the Perfect Love tape just changed everything. Some of the most popular songs being You Were Right, Money Longer, Baby Are You Home, P's and Q's are simply timeless. While Uzi is the only artist who officially dropped albums in 2016, X and CARTI have released singles which led to their albums in 2017. I believe that hip-hop in 2016 became incredibly diverse, which is why the year is important. In fact, this is the year where every style of hip-hop was successful. There was not one specific style of rap that shined above the other. The music was enjoyable for everyone to listen to and easy to transition into. For Gen Z and millennials, it was the come up of the trio that changed the demographic. I also believe 2016 was a year where people had the best summer of their lives as well. Let's jump into the most influential person out of the trio.
As soon as this shit starts, I want to feel it. Run it.
XXXTENTACIon, aka Ja, aka X, aka
Young Dagger Dick,
aka Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, born on January 23rd, 1998, influenced a genre of rap that would change everything. One of the first songs that blew up for X was Vice City. Later on, the hit song Look at Me that was released on SoundCloud on December 30th, 2015 that blew up later on in 2016. Released by Rojas, one of the producers of Look at Me, this song took over SoundCloud and then eventually the underground rap. X used very unconditional methods when it came to creating his music and sound, using heavy guitar-backed instrumentals, 808s, and distortion, which gave off emo and grunge music. A very different sound that inspired the upcoming generation. When I first heard the song Look at Me, I thought it was extremely catchy and almost addicting. The 808s booming in my headphones is what caught my attention immediately. However, I did not take the song seriously when I heard him say, "Don't get me wrong, it is a bar for sure, but the music did not hit for me during the time." However, with the creation of this emo guitar-heavy 808 rap style, it became very popular. The rise of X quickly began, and with his debut studio album being a project that can never be forgotten. The 17 album, which was released on August 15, 2017, was special, an album that was filled with pain and suffering. There have been albums created in the past which have sad vibes to it, but this album was different. Jocelyn Flores being the most popular song on the album and considered one of the saddest songs. For myself, whenever life is going bad or horrible, I know that Jocelyn Flores can amplify that by 1000%. However, the song also has a comforting feeling somehow. Jocelyn Flores being a song that X dedicated to her after finding out that she removed herself from the earth. The 17 album is a perfect album for those who are going through tough times in their lives. Other popular songs being Everyone Dies in Their Sleep, Save Me, and Fuck Love. The perfect album for betrayal, heartbreak, a terrible partner in your life, and depression. X's second studio album titled Question Mark debuted at the top of the charts, with multiple songs accumulating over 1 billion plays, those songs being Moonlight, Sad, The Remedy for a Broken Heart, Changes, and Hope. The Question Mark was an album where we have a more comfortable and confident X rapping his pain away. At this point, X was no longer an underground sensation and was rising to the top of the mainstream. However, his rise to fame would unfortunately come to an end on June 18, 2018. X was murdered near a motorcycle dealership and it shocked the world. During this time, people were speculating that Drake was jealous of X. However, none of this was confirmed, and years later, the gunmen who took X's life were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. X dealt with many legal issues during his career, the most popular being the battery charges against him. Many people felt that because of his change of character, it showed that X was deserving of a second chance and even redemption. There have been 3 albums released after his death which fans were not happy about. They wanted X to rest peacefully and not have albums released that were not completed during the time he was alive. X, aka XXXTENTACION, the rapper who influenced heavy 808s and emo rap, is one of the main reasons why 2016 is a memorable year for rap.
I need these diamond cuts. Hold on. Ooh, shit. How'd you bitch?
Playboi Carti, aka Jordan Terrell Carter, was born on September 13, 1995. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, the rapper has grown quite a unique fan base and music style. Along with X, he is credited with pioneering the rage genre of rap. The rage rap genre is a mixture of punk and trap sounds. Playboi Carti's rise to fame started with the self-titled mixtape, with popular songs being Magnolia, Woke Up Like This, New Chopper, and Location taking over rap. Carti was inspired by Marilyn Manson, Kanye, Dosa, Young Thug, and Lil Wayne. A lot of early emo rock music also influenced Carti to pioneer the rage rap genre. One of the major inspirations for Carti was Uno the Activist. Uno the Activist, also from Atlanta, Georgia, is one of the first rappers to use melodic synths, 808s, and pitch adjustment. Some people say that Uno the Activist was the first to do it, but Carti was the best to do it. People were gravitating towards Playboi Carti not just for the music, but the persona that came along with it. Carti's fashion, antisocial behavior, and chaoticness inspired rappers everywhere. Playboi Carti broke the barrier of what being a traditional rapper looked like. One of the most recognizable things that Carti does is the baby voice. While I am not the biggest fan of the baby voice, Carti is trying out things to see which works and does not work. Even though I may not like Carti's baby voice, there are probably a lot of people that enjoy it. Many people enjoy the dynamic between Carti and Bugzey. Their music styles worked so well together. Whenever they were on a song, you knew it was going to sound good. They could never miss when they got on a song. In 2018, Carti released Die Lit, which continued to expand on the emo rage genre of rap. With features by Bugzey, Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, and Bryson Tiller, the album was well received. Some of the most popular songs being RP, Shoota, and Fell in Love. At this point, people were expecting Carti to never release a bad album, but that was questioned in 2020 with the most controversial album, Whole Lotta Red. Whole Lotta Red was released on December 25th, 2020, and social media was not happy with the project. Many people felt that Whole Lotta Red was one of the worst projects that Carti released, and we're not sure why he made that project. Now, before the vamps come and start spamming the comment section saying the project is good, originally, many of you all were not happy. The album grew for many people over time, however, it was looked at in a very poor light when it debuted. In this album, Playboi used his baby voice quite a bit and it was not well received. Popular songs on the album being Go to the Moon, New Tank, Vamp Anthem, and Sky. 5 years later, Carti released Music, which is my favorite album from him. Now, I can't lie, I was a Carti hater for a long time. However, the album Music changed my opinion on him. I'm not sure if it was because I actually gave Carti an honest chance or the fact that Music just sounded much better in my ears. Some of my favorite songs on the album are Rather Lie, Fine Shit, Good Credit, and Evil Jordan. Rumored that Carti was forced to release his album because his contract demanded it. Now, Carti has some very interesting non-music issues which are truly unbelievable. One of those things being,
while I was pregnant, this man didn't even come to see his son be born. He went to Philly to play the PlayStation with little Bugzey. He thought that was more important than seeing his son be born.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Playboi missed his son's birth to play in the game with Bugzey. Allegedly, Playboi had not seen his son for months and continued to be mysterious. In 2020, Carti was arrested for felony aggravated assault and choking his pregnant girlfriend. We'll leave the rest of Carti's legal issues behind for now and talk about the final piece of the 2016 trio that changed hip-hop forever. Lil Uzi Vert, aka Samir Basil Woods, born on July 31st, 1995, became one of the biggest rappers in 2016. He started to gain some recognition in 2015 from his Love Is Rage mixtape. However, that was just the beginning of his mainstream success. When Uzi released Money Longer, that song gained mainstream attention and now the world was looking at him. Similar to X and Carti, he became a big influence for emo/rage rap. With the usage of 808s, guitars, etc., Uzi started to branch out from the mainstream rappers. One of the things that makes Uzi stand out is his personality and non-traditional style. Before I jump into that, let's talk about Uzi versus the world. During this time, the world is hearing a mixtape which was a mix of songs featuring pain and love. Uzi was talking about Britney, who was his girlfriend during the time, until they broke up later on that year. Uzi versus the world is one of my favorite projects to me, and I'll recommend a few songs for those who may not be familiar with Uzi. Money Longer and You Were Right are probably my favorite songs on the project. Yes, I know it's generic, but the songs go hard, so not too much on me. The album was unavoidable, and with its release on May 27, 2016, it was the perfect album for the summer. A couple of months later, Uzi released the Perfect Love tape, which featured popular songs Do What I Want and Erase Your Social. Musically, Uzi was showing out and was moving up in the mainstream world, but it was more than the music that changed 2016. Uzi's aesthetic became very popular among those Gen Z and millennials. Uzi's fascination with anime, dyeing his locks, and his free mind personality became infectious.
It's only my third day out here. I don't know.
Uzi's whole story regarding Britney became fascinating for those who want to know more about him. How can I forget? Uzi being a feature on Migos' Bad and Bougie also introduced the rest of the world to Uzi. Now, the album that people can never forget by Uzi is Love is Rage 2. Love is Rage 2 came out and it simply just put Uzi on top of the world. With the most popular song on the album being EXO Tour Life, words cannot compute how fantastic that song is. A song that still has much replay value in the big 2025. With the deluxe album having the song 20 minutes, it solidified Uzi as one of the best in 2017. 3 years later, we got the highly anticipated album Eternal Take. March 6, 2020 was the day EA dropped and the world was happy to hear this album. With the intro Baby Pluto, it was the perfect intro for the album. Also, got the highly anticipated Part 2 to EXO Tour Life. In the same year, the collaboration project with Future was also released. While this album did not do its usual numbers that are expected from Uzi, it was still an enjoyable project featuring Pluto and Baby Pluto, a project that I feel is underrated and does not get enough love. 3 years later, we got Pink Tape, which many people were excited about. Pink Tape is an album that I enjoyed on the first listen and felt different from some of Uzi's previous projects. With features from Bring Me the Horizon and Baby Metal, Uzi was bringing back the rockstar vibes. A year later, we got Eternal Take 2, which surprisingly did not do well numbers wise. I feel that there was not much interest in a second EA and did not see much marketing from it. Unfortunately, Uzi also had legal issues in the past which put some negativity on the Philly rapper. Uzi received 3 years of probation after being charged with assault with a firearm, criminal threats, and domestic violence against Saint, JHN, and Britney Bird. 2016 is the year that would not be forgotten when it comes to music and the vibes. Without Uzi, CARTI, and X, I do not believe 2016 would have been a super fun and memorable year. While there was a lot of music that came out, the trio stood above all when it came to impact. Since the trio succeeded in 2016, it allowed them to have longevity years later. It was the beginning of fun, 808s, rage, and emo rap. Even though the trio may have done some horrible things in their lives, we cannot deny their impact in 2016. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you did. Click that join button to support the channel more. See you later, Space Cowboy.